You're going to hear a rant in this podcast about the required Honda Challenge graphics package being deleted from the rule set. It sort of still stands, but there's some background. We're no longer with Honda Performance Development, or now HRC. They don't support us anymore, and there's no package. I still stand by it. We need some sort of package, and maybe the podcast needs to step up with other partners and make sure that happens. But we'll see.
Green flag.
Welcome to the Blind Apex Podcast, where amateur club racers tune in to get faster.
This episode is brought to you by Deechworks Fuel Systems. Go to deechworks.com for all your fuel system needs. I'm your host, Con John Turk. And on this episode of the Blind Apex Podcast, we're going to be Honda Challenge centric. We're going over the rules. You need to read your rules all the time. Read them closely, especially this time of year. I'm probably going to bump my end of the year summary episode and move that to the first of next year just to get this out as early as possible. You're going to learn about how to evaluate your rules, the rules process, and how to be courteous to your committee members. Joining me, returning guest, friend of the podcast. Hopefully she's still a friend of the podcast after this. Honda Challenge committee member, someone who's just as passionate about Honda Challenge as I am. We don't always agree. We're not afraid to disagree, but we've always been cordial about it. So we're going to continue that trend. We have the same goals for the class. We just don't always get there in the same way or think about it in the same way. Queen in the Northeast, Jackie Andrews, welcome back to the podcast.
Thank you. It's good to be
I still
back.
haven't got the soundboard and the button for your cheers, but I'm going to work on that in 2025, I think.
It's in the rules, Con. Did you not read them?
Oh, I read them. Oh, did I read them? Did I read them? Did I read them?
I think you read them more than I did.
Well, so
and I wrote half of them.
I read the rules at least once a week, and some points during the season I will read the rule book every day. So
every day?
Yeah.
That explains a lot.
About what?
About the texts and emails, mostly the emails that we get by we in the rules committee of like, what the hell is Con talking about now? I don't know. Let's look.
Well, this year I didn't do anything. I didn't submit any rules requests, nothing. I if it's a typo, if it's a comma out of place, I don't care. Let it ride, right? My biggest thing is words have meanings. And so when I write something and submit it, I'm not trying to fool anybody, okay? And so when I read the change has gone in and my recommended language wasn't used, I'm like, maybe there's a hole for me here still. So every competitor is going to read the rule books that way, but let's catch up with you before we get into this spicy topic of the rules. How is the new car?
The new car. Well, let me preface this by saying that the new car was always intended to be like as much of an all-out build as I could afford to do.
Right.
So this car was not going to be done quickly, but the timeline just went backwards a little bit. I thought the cage was going to work and didn't really think too much of it. I knew some stuff that I was going to do, but it was nothing major. Change the door bar, add some foot protection, change the harness bar. I cut the harness bar out to see how the seat was going to fit and see, because the EK is larger, I wanted to see if I could use a factory column. And I found out that the cage was not going to work. because the person that it was built for was short. So they
short
they
kid
pushed
club.
the main hoop forward. I don't know why they would do that, but the main hoop was forward. So I cut the cage out.
The whole cage out?
All of it. It's a streetcar right now.
Whoa.
Down to the plates. If you put carpet and plastic in it, it's a streetcar again. So it's gonna go get a new cage in March.
Okay.
Was trying to figure out who, because like everything else in the off season, everybody's busy in the off season.
Yeah.
So February, March was the best that I could do. I almost rather March, so I'm not like towing this car home in the snow and salt with no windows and raw metal in it.
Yeah.
So, I ordered an engine last week, so that should be ready soon. Short block, just bottom end. I was going to build the one I had and ended up linking up with a company that just kind of does them.
Mhm.
And you give them a core and off you go. So just save some time. Nothing crazy. The cylinder head's already done. That's sitting in my living room. Intake manifold is done. That's also sitting in my living room.
As they should be.
Yeah. So we're getting there. Once the cage is done and then I can paint the interior because the car was originally black.
Mhm.
So I'm not dealing with that. Then it's just put it back together, which won't take terribly long.
Okay. So we're not going to see you racing in early 2025 is what you're saying.
No,
Okay.
no. I'm not rushing it, but it's going to be really nice and really, really like well put together when it comes out.
So more time for Jackie's Corner podcast to be produced.
What's that?
Did you quit already on me?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. That's fair. It's not. I had this conversation with my buddy Jason, and he was like, how easy is podcasting? And I was like, it's not. It's kind of a annoyance factor. It's
yeah, and I only have so much to talk about.
right.
And I'm not like, I wasn't interviewing people and stuff like that. So I only have so many topics to talk about before I get redundant. And I don't have the energy or the capacity to like start interviewing people and whatnot. So if I feel like picking it back up, maybe I will, but
Well, you always have a platform here, so feel free.
yeah, I just get on everybody else's. It's easier.
Right. Yeah. You produce it. You deal with it and upload it and stuff. Yeah.
And
I
make
get it.
stickers
Trust me.
and shirts and merch. Yeah, I'm
Right.
good.
So, okay. Let's talk rules a little bit. Let's talk about the NASA process, which I assume Honda Challenge isn't a special butterfly in that process, but NASA process is basically the same at a high level, right?
Mhm.
So
Yep.
you guys, me, the racer, writes a request. Dear Rules Committee, on the Rules Committee form. This is the section that's busted, and this is how I think it should be changed. And here's my evidence that it should be changed, right? That's what we need.
Yes.
And you email it. I email it to Mike. He's my series leader in my region. And for Honda Challenge, every series leader is essentially on the Rules Committee, right?
Currently, yes.
Okay. And so are we taking at-large members? Are we are we looking at giving up?
Oh, no. It just didn't always be that. It was not always that way.
Right.
It originally was, and then it faded out and was just kind of like two of us for a while.
Right.
But now it's back to,
Okay.
I think, everyone. So,
Okay. And then you guys triage it all.
yes.
Okay. And then, so it's got to be herding cats to get all the regional leaders on a call or whatever it is.
No, it's actually not too bad.
Okay. That's fortunate. So
Yeah.
all you guys get together and discuss the rules, and then what happens?
Whatever changes we decide to make, whether it's based on a rules request or whatever the case, that change will get written, depending on what it is as to who writes it. Actually, it's really just kind of one person. Oh no, it's a couple people that will write the official kind of send it out format.
Right.
But before that, I mean, if we have to like discuss or dig up more information or whatever the case, we'll do that. But yeah, once we kind of, I'm air quoting, vote on, whatever it is, if we're going to go through with it, it gets written up, gets put wherever section it needs to get put in, and off we go.
Okay. And then that document goes to who?
That document, once we're done with it, goes to NASA National. I don't know exactly who, because I don't do that particular function anymore. I know who it used to go to. I don't know if that person even still works there. But it goes to National. They approve it. And I think just kind of based on a few different things that I've dealt with over the years, I think different people at National kind of look over different classes. Like, for example, Jeremy Crissette will still kind of like look at Honda Challenge stuff and, give us the yes or no on it. I don't know if Crissette looks at all of them or just maybe he looks at that and NPO1s and some other stuff. I'm not sure. But yeah, once it's approved by National and it gets posted, however they post it, because that's on them as far as how it gets posted on the website. And then it's, up for the consumer's availability to download.
Now, you said it went to Nationals for approval, but I don't think they always get approved.
Well, no. I mean, perfect example is kind of what happened with my H1 rewrite, which we can talk about later.
Yeah. So
it got approved and then didn't.
So there's two levels of approval is what I'm trying to get to. The rules committee could approve it. Nationals could disapprove it.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
You could get disapproved at the rules committee level also. So there's two levels of acceptance before it's certified, stamped, put out on the internet. And we know everything on the internet's true. So once it's out on the internet, it's fact.
Well, you can also not get it approved by the rules committee and then go to National and have them approve it for you instead. That seems to be something that people are doing now.
I need that email. But anyway.
Sorry, Jeremy, if you're listening to this, I'm going to make your life hard. P.S. Scott Adams, I love you.
Okay. All right. So I am going to cover very quickly the rules changes. Why will it be very quickly? Because there weren't very many. And I can tell you there was some angst. There was some anxious people, to include myself. I was like, oh, we're fighting for last place in getting our rules published. I think Spec 3, NPO1, and us. Oh, Spec Z. Sorry, it was not NPO1. It was us, Spec Z, and Spec 3. And I was like, they're the last ones on the webpage without a 2025 rule set. Now, I knew, talking to you and others, that there may be some large changes, very unspecific. I didn't know what was going on per se, but there was a lot to be considered this year. So I was like, okay, this means big changes coming for Honda Challenge. And I think we need those big changes. If I hate that it goes to Nationals, I'll be very frank. And I don't know Jeremy from Adam, to be honest, but the West Coast doesn't have Honda Challenge anymore. I'm almost in the butt out category. Like, if we're racing Honda Challenge, you get to be on the committee. If you're not, this is my personal opinion. So we could disagree. But if you're not racing it, I'm not really a fan of people being on the committee. I know, and part of the problem is we're shrinking. The Northeast, healthy. Mid-Atlantic, pretty healthy. Southeast, pretty healthy, right? But outside of the East Coast, Texas, what's got 4 cars? Maybe 5, 6?
Yeah. They got one of their rules passed, though.
Well, okay.
With 5 cars.
And that's, we can talk about that. But at least they're racing it when it goes to be overseen by somebody who I don't think they're not shopping for transmissions and engines, and they're not building these cars anymore. It becomes real hard for me to swallow that they get veto power. But let me get to the rules changes and off my soapbox real quick. So I had an episode about it, but it's gone. Restricted prep is finished for now. So for those of you that don't know, Honda Challenge H2 actually had 3 subcategories: limited prep, restricted prep, and factory prep cars. We still have factory prep. I'm sorry, S2000s, they want to nerf you or make you go to H1. I get it though. Restricted prep used to be 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th gen Civics, essentially. Oh, and the SIs, the RSX, EP3, those generations. Native K cars, McPherson struck cars, essentially. And then the jet ski motored cars, L15B7s. Mm-hmm. So I blame you for that jet ski comment, because once you told me it was a jet ski motor, I ran with it. So restricted prep is gone. And I understand the reasonings behind it. I don't think it might be a little early, but I'm kind of okay with it being early because the rest of the rules are behind in general, especially in H1, which we'll get to. The words equivalent were added to the H2 motor chart. I feel targeted about the splitter rules just because I've had Mario on here and he's always talking about splitters. It's like you guys were like, okay, what did he say not to write in the rule book? That's what we're going to write in the rule book. Sorry, I feel targeted by some of this stuff. The dashboards are optional. I understand why the need. It's the guys race EF Civics. Those EF Civics have been in the sun for 50 years. Those dashboards have been in the sun for that whole time. They're racing and their dashes are shaking apart. Like one of the guys, he's a rookie with us last year, Kent, his dashboard broke in half in his rookie race. It just broke. Like,
oh God, that's hysterical.
So it's brittle old plastic. Like I was like, remove your windshield and like just do a carbon overlay of the whole thing. And he's like, no, my tabs broke too that hold the dash on. I was like, oh, well, you're kind of hosed there. So the dashes are optional. Drove most of the H1 changes. So that'll get you
H2.
No, well, it drove most of the H1 changes. In H1, you only had clarification on dashes and clarification on wing width that can't include your fender flares. That's the only changes to H1.
Oh, okay. Yep.
The McPherson struck cars got a 50-pound brake after being moved into the regular limited prep chart. That's written into the rules, but the K24Z7 at the time of recording and the L15B7, they get an additional 50-pound brake because they just move their old weights in, which in limited prep on the swapped cars, everyone was running 50 pounds heavier than the native car.
Right. Which I think we're going to fix. I'd have to go back and look. I think that's going to get evened out. Don't
Okay.
quote me.
Yeah, you never know. We'll see. The old cars again got radius rods, so those old DAs, EFs, they got traction bars or radius rod aftermarket kits. That's a
Mhm.
long time coming for those cars. Those radius
Yes.
rod factory kits, man, I don't even know how they were driving around on them. I guess they were replacing their bushings every year, but
Well, let's put it this way. I asked for aftermarket radius rods when I ran an EF chassis in H2.
okay. A decade ago or longer.
Yes. Yeah. 2008? No, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah, 2008.
So
2009.
the other thing that I feel targeted for is McPherson cars are limited to 245 tire. Now, I know I created a hubbub many years ago now on Instagram saying I was testing a 255 tire. The
Mhm.
irony was it came off a competitor's car. So he wanted to try a 235. I wanted to try a 255, and he'd been racing with it all year, plus some, probably a year and a half. He wasn't the only car on McPherson's running 255s at times, and not just in my region, So, but when I post it, apparently I cause a stir. So,
Well, it's because you posted it and that other person didn't, so no one knew that they were doing it.
oh no, Brian Mang has posted it multiple times.
Really?
times. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Ooh,
Oh yeah. Yep.
got some cheaters down there.
Why? You made the rule now. There was no rule before. So anyway,
Oh, fair.
okay. One of this is the smallest rule change, and I think it's indicative of the lack of rule changes. At the end of the rule book, it says we're no longer required to run the Honda Challenge logo that will be provided by it's a strike through. It's gone. Yeah. I wish I could take a picture.
Now. I didn't even see that.
Yeah. So Nationals, that should have been your veto. You should have canceled that. If you care about this class, you have to publicize this class. Yeah. Oh yeah. Think about it. What are you trying to do to a class when you don't even require it to run its own class marker? Think about it. Scratch out, regional provided or whatever, regional leader provided. Okay. But somebody's got to run it. We rep it hard, and our regional Mike provides some of the sweetest banners, right? Like he takes that job. Yeah, for real. I won't change my windshield because I have the NASCAR banner and I love that thing. So the NASCAR Honda Challenge banner, I love it. Like, I'm here in the country, they love it too. Like, they love seeing it.
Oh, I'm sure they do.
But
I did not know that was a strike through, and
Yeah.
I don't know why it would be.
I don't know. Maybe I don't know. But you're trying to market your class. We racers, you, the rules committee, NASA Nationals should be trying to market and grow these classes, increase participation. Why would you say we don't have to run our Honda Challenge banners anymore?
Huh.
It's astonishing.
You got me on that one.
So
I don't even know whose idea that was. I'm gonna have to look into it.
Yeah. Okay.
You'll find out why I didn't know this in a little bit.
I'll bring the spice because I tell you I read the rules and I read all of them except for the H4 rules, but they won't be around much longer anyway.
Quiet, Josh.
Sorry.
We might get some fits. We might get some fits out there that want to run. You never know.
So the only viable option is to find native fits The R18 Civic.
R18, R20.
Right. Those are the cars that will fit that class the best, which in my opinion means that the whole thing needs to be relooked at. Because
yes. Well, actually, funny you bring that up, because Marcel and I were talking about something to do with H4.
Mhm.
It wouldn't be called H4 anymore, but it would still kind of have the same kind of vibe, same speed-ish cars. But
can we upgrade them to H3 so we have 1, 2, and 3, not 1, 2, and 4? Things like that.
If it has a number assessed to it, absolutely. You don't want to go 1, 2, 6?
I mean, we have 1, 2, 4 now.
We could make it like 1, 2A, subsection 4.1.
They're already in a subsection that says you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do this. This part of the rules that applies to everybody actually doesn't apply to you. Like, boom, boom, boom.
Mm-hmm. Imagine trying to run an H4 car now and your dash falls apart.
Well,
and then your motor blows up and you can't get one because they haven't existed in 42 years.
Right. So that's the struggle.
Yeah.
But
well, like I said, we're thinking about something for that.
Good.
It's down the road, but I got enough work to do.
Yeah. Well, so let's talk about the good stuff, because somebody at Nationals denied H1 changes, and I think it's a travesty, because H1 is the shiny premier should be. It's not Ryan Bradfield's car. Sure, everyone loves the shiny new, okay? But it should be the premier class. It should be the fastest. It is the fastest. It doesn't matter whether it's an old turd with a K motor or a new TSX with a J motor. Or the Civic Type R. Give it a home, right? That's not ST3, probably 4. Is it a 4 car with nothing?
Depends how much power it makes.
Yeah. So
let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it, because they
they
let the strikeout of no Honda Challenge banners are required, and then they disallowed some stuff. So let's talk about what didn't make the cut.
Boys and girls, story time. Everybody get your popcorn, get comfy, get a blanket. We're going to tell a story.
Mid-Atlantic boys, get your whiskeys and your beers and everything.
Yeah. Please don't call me out. Call me up and cuss me out, because this wasn't my fault. So, cat's out of the bag now. The H1 changes didn't get made. A couple people knew. Now I can talk about it. I was working on a full-blown H1 rewrite all year. We had started talking about it probably this time-ish last year, maybe a little later on, maybe January, February, of what to do with H1 and how to class some of these new cars. And the class just needs some zhuzhing up, right? So I talked to Marcel about it and everybody else on the rules committee. Marcel ran it by National. They said, have at it. Let's do it. So I wrote a formula to class the new cars without giving away my entire formula. It did take torque into account. That took some doing, but I was able to figure it out. And it would have essentially made H1 a power to weight class. But it made classing the cars easier, and it made opening up the class easier, because now every chassis can do, whatever they want within the rules. Giant splitter, canards, fender vents. I think I opened up fender vents to 2, tunnels in the splitter, diffusers. I think wings kind of stayed the same. A couple other things. And then, as long as you fit in the formula, we're fine.
So
So if Honda comes out with a new Type R again, whatever, I don't care. You have to make this much power.
but hold on. So the current rules designate some vehicles by liter, like K20s get this, or sorry, they don't. K20s get this much weight. J35s get this much weight. K24s are at a different weight.
Yes.
And then each one of them is allowed certain things, right? J series can have cams. K series can have any OEM cam, I think. B series can be whatever you can get, whatever. Yeah, all out, full tilt boogie. Send your heads to 4-piston, get them as big as you can get them, flow as much as you can. Put in those old Toyota Spec Cs you have laying on the shelf. In the rules between what you're allowed to build your engine to by series, so B series, K series, J series, all that stuff, even D series rules, which is in the minimum weights, it's essentially a powered weight class. You are trying to balance them.
So yes and no. So it's a power to weight class, sort of, but we were not policing it at events as a power to weight class. So each one does a core across the dyno. We don't care how much horsepower you make. What would have happened then is would have been policed at events as a power to weight class. Spoiler alert, that's essentially why that whole project kind of got scrapped, is because National, and it's fair, I understand why. I'm not upset about it. National didn't want another power to weight class. And I mean, if anybody is in a power to weight class and, get sent to the dyno and you have the second race on a Saturday, you know how much of a mess that can be. So, and they don't want to add to that.
Well, but here's the thing, Jackie. We're balancing them right now. Okay. We know how much horsepower J's can make. We know how much K20s can make.
So here's the thing is we don't. Well, let me back up. So I know how much a K24 will make. I know how much a K20 will make. The problem is people want to do more. People want to build a 12.5 to 1 K24 with cams and run it in H1, which you should be able to.
Right.
So when it gets to that point, which I'm fine with, it's not a ticking time bomb. You put cams in there that won't kill the timing chain and it's going to run. It'll be fine. But the problem now is if it's not a power to weight class, essentially, we have to have a weight for every engine combination. So like a K24, let's say all of the engines in H1 are going to be 12.5 to 1. Let's just make it for easy conversation, right? Okay, so a 12.5 to 1 K24 with cams can make 300. If you don't put a limit on cams, you can make 300. That might not last, but that's not the point. So then you need to make a weight for a K24 with this particular setup that makes 300. I don't know what a K20 will make. I don't know what an L15B will make. If it was a blanket, and it would have been a blanket kind of thing of everybody can use aftermarket cams, a J37 with aftermarket cams might make 350 or some wildness, but I don't know.
Right.
So what it's going to have to happen is I've got to go through now and figure out what all the different engine combinations are going to make for horsepower and then figure their weights out. It's just more work, and I didn't have enough time to do it and try to get the rules out quick.
Right. So we know how much Bradfield makes. I don't know it off the top of my head, but he's he doesn't hide it, right?
No, he made a tick over 300 and 265 torque. I think he made 307 or 310 and 265 torque.
Right. So, but he's not built to the maximum of the current rules.
Nope. Because if he puts a 3.7, then he makes more power and more torque.
Or ports his heads. Does he make more power? Sometimes they do. Sometimes they don't.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, no, they do. Those do.
So the trick is especially for H1, is we need to balance of power everything, but we also need to be as easily inclusive to bring in. We've had J series around for a while, but not to the extent we have now, right? So Justin had the S2000. Who in the Northeast had one? Didn't somebody in the Northeast run an S2000 with the J series?
Has an S2000 with J series that runs an ST4. It's very fast.
Right. So we got Bradfield, right? Now we have Kevin Helms in the CTR. I don't think Kevin Helms wants to race anything but Honda Challenge. He won't. Right. Like, he won't go to ST4, probably.
Nope.
So,
no, he will not. I've known Kevin for a long time. He will not.
Right. So, but he's still not in the rules.
I know.
Technically. But
I know.
If he's got nobody to race, doesn't matter. But I
don't know what else to do. I'm trying to figure something out. I'm not going to put something together so it comes out in the middle of the season, because that's just shitty. But this was the best idea that I had.
Right. No, I'm not knocking your idea. I think putting it in that manner makes it easier, while opening up. You can make that power however you want. It was 20 years ago, this was the builder's class. This is where the shops were supposed to build the cars. This was where you were coming out of your garage with swagger. I'm more better than you. I did this. I did that. I figured this out. I figured that out. Look at this car, right? That's how they were always intended to be. Kevin Helms himself figured out that B20 VTEC and made them so they didn't turn into hand grenades all the time. It took him a lot of hand grenades, but he got there, right? That's part of the game, right? But we're the way Nationals has acted, in my opinion, and they can hate me all they want. I'm not really liked by a lot of people anyway. I mean, to me, they're trying to turn H1 into nothing and make Honda Challenge 2 the premier class, but they actually don't think they care, because they let you don't have to run your banners rule get crossed out.
Yeah, that's still wild. I don't know where that came from. But I mean, even if they wanted to kill H1, they don't. They want me to save it. So, but like an H1 car doesn't go to ST very well. Bradfield's car, not even, because like he's got to get different wheels because his wheels are too big. A K20 is terrible in everywhere in ST. It's not enough power for ST4, and it's too much for ST5. So like there is a home for these cars, and a lot of guys by me with like S2000s, and it's a lot of S2000s that wanted to go to ST for whatever reason. They all came to ST4 and we had a good time. Nobody could win, but you have good racing. They all went to ST5. Then they realized how much money they had to spend. And they're like, oh, this kind of sucks. We should probably go back to H1. Yeah. You don't have to do anything to the car.
Right.
Just drive it. You'll be fine. It's similar to like kind of what's going on in H1 in the Southeast, where there are just a bunch of S2000s, a couple Civics here and there. And it works. It's great. Everybody's happy. But, there's a lot of people that want to do different things with their Hondas and run them in Honda Challenge. And I understand it. I've been hearing it for years. And I thought I had it figured out.
Yeah.
So I just have to figure out another way to do it that's not dyno based. I'm working on it. I'll have something for 2026. I promise.
It seems like a cop out, right?
What do you mean?
Oh, we don't want another power to weight class to run across the dyno.
I mean, I understand it. Having run ST for the last couple years, and if you've got ST going across the dyno, GTS going across the dyno, Time Trial going across the dyno, and any other little kind of fill-ins, we've had to just say F it and print the rules how they were, because it was like you still have a whole class to go across the dyno and it's 6:00 at night. So I get it. Some regions don't have dynos at their events. So how are you going to police? I don't know how they're policing anything currently.
Yeah, how do you police H2?
Not on me. That's how do you police GTS?
Right.
How do you police ST? But as like a broad stroke, whole country, this is the best way that I could think of to do this. It worked on paper. It worked, and everybody started just kind of playing with numbers to see how it was. It worked, but National didn't want another dyno class, and I get it. I do get it.
I mean, then make it a free for all. I don't think anybody's going to run a B series in H1 anyway. So it's either going to be
free for all. How?
Just make them all 2,800 pounds and run what you brung.
2,800 pounds. Okay, so pretty much every golden era car is out because they won't stay together at 2,800 pounds.
Right. Okay. So I don't think Bradfield can get lower than 28. I could be wrong.
Oh no! But like my car at 2,600 was awful to drive. You put another 200 pounds in it, the trailer arms are going to fall off it, or the weight's going to fall through the floor.
True.
We had unlimited and it didn't work, and we talked about bringing it back. It's still not going to work. No one in their right mind is going to race one of those cars. Just like it has to have a Honda drive line, have at it. Stuff's going to be blowing up like crazy, and people are going to be mad they got to pay for speedy dry.
I mean,
because you can do a piston to rod K24 and put an eBay turbo kit on it and make 500.
No. You leave this is where the EPA messed up Honda, which is messing up us, right? So these turbo cars are even different ball game. We can't sort out the K and the J series, and now we have these the Type R and the L15B.
Mm-hmm.
Look, so I don't know whether this 50-pound brake for the K24, whatever it is. What is it? A Z4 or whatever it is.
Z7, I think
Z7,
it was. That was an oversight. I'm like 90% sure that's getting fixed.
But every dyno graph I could find, it didn't matter what dyno it was on. These L15B7s are in the 200 horsepower range, up to 220 or so. They're making almost the exact same amount of torque. And I'm like, that's a 10th gen. I should have saved my pennies and just bought a 10th gen at that point.
You're not in restricted prep anymore. Just put a K24 in the car. And you'll make 190 foot-pounds.
Well, apparently I need to put in that whatever it is. But
the Z7, the base one.
Yeah, there's a monster amount of money I have in those black and yellow totes in my garage of all the transmission parts I could get my hands on. I don't really know if I could probably find a gearing setup for my car. I mean, I own every final drive from 4.7 up to a 6.33 for a K series. So
you just go down like 2 numbers. You'll be fine.
Yeah. So it goes back to, at this point, it would go back to a stock one. So, or lower. I would have to go to a 4.4, depending on.
Well, if you ran a non-VTEC one, yeah, because they only turn like 7,000.
Right. So, but I mean, they were excited. Trust me. Well, Brian, he's the only one I know with one. He was like, "Oh, I get the RBC manifold, and less 50 pounds, and I still get 205 horsepower." And I'm like,
all right. Hey, if you start winning a bunch, maybe we'll change the rules.
Oh, what I'm worried about is he's under power, and he drives around me on the straightaway. So already,
torque. It's got torque.
I know, but
that's why I bought another 2.4 liter. I need torque.
I'm gonna have to go into the 2.4 liter world, I think, but it just depends on which one, I guess. But okay. So have we beat up H1 enough? Have we placed enough blame? Because see, personally, I think it's malarkey. Like, whatever.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. I think it kind of comes down to a perspective kind of thing. And listen, I spent an entire year working on this program.
Yeah.
This was my baby. I leaked a little bit here and there to people just to kind of see like if people were psyched on it. And like some GLTC people I know that were kind of tired of that were like, "Oh yeah, that'll work." I said, "You'll absolutely have a place for the car to go. And you'll be able to make more power than you did in Grid Life, but the setup can stay the same."
Right.
Some S2000 people with weird engines that don't actually work in their car. So you can just put a K24 in it or a J series or whatever. People were excited about it. So, to have it blow up in my face at the end of the season or at the end of the year, because this happened like 2 weeks ago. It sucked for sure, but I don't really fault National. They okayed me they okayed us, and I just kind of did the work. But they okayed us to like completely start from scratch and revamp H1. So they're not trying to get rid of it. They're for it. And I do understand they're not wanting to add a dyno class. The dyno is just, if you're not in a class that goes across the dyno like ST does, you kind of don't see it. It's a nightmare.
But I mean, here's the problem. Even Spec 3 has a maximum horsepower. So Spec 3 BMWs have to hit the dyno too.
Well, no, here's the thing, is they can go across the dyno. Like if they feel like putting them across the dyno, sure, they can go across it. Any class at that point can go across the dyno. Top 3 in every ST class from 1 to 6 is going across the dyno. Period. GTS, same thing. Obviously, your unlimited class, they're not going across the dyno. But, GTS 3 and 2, 3, 4 are pretty well populated. Those top 3, at a minimum, are going across the dyno. So, if you have GTS 2, 3, ST 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then now you're going to add this Honda Challenge thing in there, like they don't want to deal with that. So, it sucks. I get it. And I see it from your point of view of like, well, why not? Like the dyno's there. Why not take advantage of it? People just don't want to deal with another dyno. Like event organizers probably don't want to deal with another dyno class and whatnot. So
I was, I don't know, 21 years old, 20 years old when I was like, I'm racing Honda Challenge. I'm 45 years old and H1 is empty. And it kills me because when I decided I was racing Honda Challenge, there was a H1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it was booked. There were years where Honda Challenge had its own race group.
I know.
at least in the Mid-Atlantic region. So
Yeah, Mid-Atlantic was the biggest back then.
yeah. So it's, it pains me to see something that could save H1 and really promote Honda Challenge get denied. Now, I don't know how I would have been throwing stuff. I would have been jumping up and down. You're a much bigger person than me. I mean, not just height wise, but
Well, I mean, the reality is I could have got really mad and yelled and screamed, but that wouldn't have got anything done. It probably would have just hurt me in the long run. But like I said, Nationals is for it. They just didn't really want the dyno situation. Whatever. Okay. It is what it is, and we got to move forward with it. I'm not giving up on this, recreation of H1. I'm going to figure something out. I can still kind of do it the way that I wanted to do it. It just takes a lot more time now because I have to do a lot more research to figure out, what combinations people want to run that are like realistic.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think a 300 horsepower K series is going to last on track. I think the cams are going to be too big. I'm sure Chad's going to listen to this and be like, Jackie, shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. And I could be wrong. But, essentially, I've just got to figure out all the horsepower and then plug them in and figure out all the weights and kind of go back to the way we were listing it, not the way it is now. Like this engine can weigh this much.
Yep.
It's okay. It's all right. We can't always have it super easy, but if I can figure out something else, I have another idea that may fly.
Okay.
So, but H1 is not falling by the wayside. I'm still working on it. I promise.
Okay. That's gonna definitely be a snippet that I promote with, because there's people who are like, really? I mean, I know guys, even with 8th gens, who are like, I got too much money in my K24 swap. I'm not going backwards, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. I want to run H1. And I'm like, okay, run H1. And they're like, yeah, but, I can't catch a CTR. And I was like, eventually, maybe. Like, you have to wait it out and just run it until then. But
you've got to run it. And when it doesn't work, talk to Con. So Con can write you a nice, solid rules request.
Right.
That will charge him for maybe like $25 a thing. Just saying. And then, and we get some rules changed.
Well, so
that's one way to do it. It's frustrating for people to do that. Just build a car and run it when it sucks. Start plugging in rules requests, but I don't think we need to go that route.
I don't think so.
I'll figure it out.
As far as rules requests go, Mike will be happy to hear this. Is that I need to work on me, so we'll figure out the car. As long as the car is turning the way I want it to, then it's all on me after that. So, I have some changes that I'm making.
Coaches, that's what you should get.
Yeah, I'm trying to hire you. Okay.
Here we go.
But I only have the Garmin right now, so I need to figure something out, because I've been messing with the export stuff and it's not pulling any real data. It's only, you would have to like pause videos and like write stuff down. That's no bueno. So I may have to
I think I have at this point every AIM component that they've ever made.
Yeah.
So
sell me one solo thingy.
I have 3 solos. I have an MXL2 somewhere.
Oh yeah.
Figure it out.
Well, so what I'm excited about is these H2 rules. So if I don't need a dash, I don't need 2 dash bars. And one of my dash bars weighs like 60 pounds. The factory one is like 60 pounds.
There you go.
So I'm a little excited about that. I won't lie. The car is going to look ugly, though. The
That's
inside
why I don't like it.
Yeah, the cars will look ugly when we go that way. But my
Yes.
dash mounts to the factory dash bar. So does my steering column. Now, the steering column's easy. You weld up some stuff to what the factory bar was, and you cut the bar left and right of that, and then you're done, right? But the regular dash mount, that's a lot of work. Like a lot of work. So, but it's exciting that I can get rid of that front and semi-high, like 60 pounds out of the car. So
There you go.
we'll see. I don't know if I'm going to make it this year to do that, but we'll try. But
I'm picky, so I'm keeping my stock dash.
I kind of want to. I also kind of want to like wet lay carbon on top of my dash, but then it's too shiny, you know, and then you flock it and then you don't see that it's carbon and it's not worth it. Right. But really there were no rules changes this year. It's kind of stagnant.
Well, and that was done for a reason. H2 really doesn't need anything. Nothing needs to be fixed. When I say H2 doesn't need anything, nothing really needed to be fixed. The parity seemed to be pretty decent. You know, nothing's perfect, but everything seemed to be pretty decent.
Yeah. So
We left it.
yeah, I think
I know the things that people want. They're starting to trend into an H1 car.
Yeah, we all
And the
want that stuff. We all, I mean,
Come on in.
in my region, it's Bradfield's fault, but
Just build a car and come in. You know, I know somebody, I don't know who it was. Someone put in rules request for like 8-inch wheels or 9-inch wheels or something like that. I'm like, absolutely not.
yeah, 8-inch wheels for everyone. That definitely came out of my region.
No. Sorry.
It doesn't even, we talk about that over coffee, not even like adult beverages. So,
Yeah. And I mean, it may happen at some point when like 7-inch wheels are just impossible to find, you know, or whatever the case. But I know the difference in speed at the same size tire and an inch wider wheel.
yeah. So my only, well, it saved me money, so I'm not that upset. And I think that's another thing the rules committee takes into account that people don't really understand, is that we're talking about how much money can other people, or how much money are the rules changes going to force everybody to spend. You don't really want to wipe everybody out every year with these updates, right?
Yeah.
But this McPherson cars are limited to 245s kind of shut down something. I was searching Facebook Marketplace for 18x8 wheels to try the rubber bands on 18s. But the new Proxy R only comes in a 255. So I couldn't even run 18s out back, but apparently they're better up front. I don't know. So the internet says, and my car's never been what the internet says. So
We'll talk about it offline.
all right. Yeah. So that's basically it. The process and what occurred for H1, H2. I mean, we all thought it should have happened anyway, but, well, not all.
What's that? The getting rid of restricted prep?
Yeah. That's what came out
It
of
was a
Texas,
rules
isn't it?
I don't remember where it came from, but it was a rules request.
Yeah. I got asked
It may
about
have been. Yeah, it may have been. Well, I mean, if it didn't come out of your region, it probably came out of Texas, because it definitely didn't come out of ours.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely came across my desk as a rules request, and you know, I had to really kind of like not immediately say no. I'm like, well, let's think about this. And kind of looked at the rules and thought about it. I'm like, you know what? For the current cars that are running that work, it's not going to hurt them at all.
Yeah.
And it really ended up being like a 50-pound weight kind of thing, moving around, which
Right.
may or may not stay. Makes your use guys' lives easier as far as like not having to have all these weird factory parts.
I think that's the biggest thing for me, right? Like, okay, I've got 200,000 miles on this valve train, and I don't have to go to Honda to source it all. I don't have to go to Honda and figure out manufacturers, because that was the only and size were specified in the repair manual of the valve spring.
Valve springs and stuff, yeah.
So it's like, it just helps. And then that way, the B series or the K series world is already approaching the problems the B series kids are having. The prices haven't gone up, but the scarcity is there. You try to,
it's easy.
Yeah,
because
okay.
then everything's aftermarket.
Yeah, except for I can't run a K20 head on a K24 yet.
Well, you would have been able to under my rules in H1.
But, I mean, so a lot of the K24 heads went to the recyclers like they were D series, I
have 2 of them if you need one.
Well, I don't need one. But that's the thing.
Actually, no. People like K24 heads.
They like TSX RBB heads.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Not like a non-VTEC K24 head.
Right. They do like them, but they like them because they have more potential for port, not because they flow better stock.
Correct. And the port is small, so if you're trying to pick up volume, or are you trying to
Velocity.
pick up airspeed?
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Lost my word.
So I don't know. It's all a game, right? At least I don't have to find a complete K20 Z3 if I have a problem. I can source something. I can try something different. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the big things for me was in an 8th gen Z3 engines. They usually don't have any heads on them anymore. Those got put on somebody's street K24. And right. And the block sat outside, outside the garage because nobody wants a K20 block,
Yeah, so now it's junk. It's got rust in the cylinders.
everywhere. Yeah. So now you're talking about re-sleeving and all that and they still want money for it, right? So
right, for a 200 horsepower engine.
Right, for a 200 horsepower engine. So, it's better in the long run. So
yeah, I think it'll work out. I imagine everyone will be kind of happy about it.
I can hear the S2000 drivers for H2. They're like, why are we still stuck here?
Because you won't mod your car and drive it somewhere else. That's why.
Well, they complain
You're
about
not getting a damn thing for H2, and it makes a pretty good H1 car kind of all the time. They're fragile, but it's okay.
Yeah, I see them as a dying breed in H2 anyway, because the motor restrictions that they're going to have to face eventually. But
well, yeah,
we all
if the motor goes, you're done, because you got to go find another stock one.
Yep.
And beat ones are $7,000.
Yeah, and they have fancy sleeves and all that stuff to repair. So
yes, if you can find someone to do it.
Correct. There's only like 2 shops, I think, in the US that do it. So
Yep. Yeah,
it's crazy.
Not worth it. Just go buy some wider wheels and some suspension and put a K series in it and go drive it literally anywhere else.
All right.
Even with an F series, it's not a bad H1 car.
Yeah. I mean, the Southeast guys, I want Bradfield to go down and play in the Southeast and see how it really is, but we'll see. He's planning on it. So, all right, Jackie, are we done?
We're done, unless you got something else.
No, that's it.
Or if you want me to fall on the sword for H1 some more, I can do that.
No, you don't fall on the sword. I blame Nationals.
It's okay. It's just a work in progress.
All right. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
Until next time, keep working on yourself, keep working on the car, and let's get faster.